Hey,
we're here.
it is our every other Friday. Welcome to Friday, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's nice to have you back in the studio.
I feel like I've been gone a very long time.
You weren't, but I feel like we've been gone a very long time.
For a minute.
I think it's because we threw off our schedule a little bit.
A little bit. You know, those pesky anniversaries and having to entertain the wife, you know. So, welcome, everybody. For those of you new to the live stream, my name is Dylan Von Kleist. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing here at Autowash. And with me,
Mr. Levi Gates, the master of shine, and also the director of automotive appearance for Autowash companies.
So we come to you every other Friday. We do a fun little live stream here. Just recap some of the fun stuff that's been going on in the Autowash showroom, detailing in general, car wash topics. You can always drop your comments in the comments there, and questions, anything you want to know, something you want to talk about. You want to make fun of my shirt. That's always a fun topic. Today, I decided to go. I wore this I walked in and I said, guys, I wore my ugly shirt. And they go, it's not that ugly. I go,
Yeah,
damn.
it's not that ugly. I
mean,
actually like it.
If you get up in detail, this is the shirt I wear to answer the question, do I have too many Dixons? Yes, I do. I also have a shirt that has almost every label that they've ever created.
I was going to say, I just realized, I'm looking at that going like, I actually don't have any of those shirts that have those labels. So, and I've got a lot.
So, you know, I'm going for that Dixon endorsement still. I figure if I throw more logos on, eventually they have to acknowledge me and send me free stuff as I should have. I have too many of those shirts as it is. So, kicking things off, something I should highlight. We put out a video. I still laugh every time I have to say this. We put out a video this week from the showroom, voiced over by our very own Keenan.
Yeah, he did a great job.
On a Subaru that we have lovingly dubbed the Poobaroo.
It was a walk-in.
Yeah.
It was an actual walk-in. I'm still amazed because I know you and I have been in this industry for a very long time. I've only seen pictures of a car like that on the internet. I've never experienced a level of grime that intense.
I wasn't here, but he parked right outside of Seth's office. Seth sent me a picture. It looked like AI faked. I was there's no way that's a real car. And he's like, no, this guy just came in. So I'll let you tell the background on what this car was exactly.
The customer showed up with the car and basically said, my wife Googled you. We need to get the car cleaned. And I walked outside to look at it and I go, oh my gosh. We started talking. I go, how? How is the question? He goes, well, we have a ski chalet up in Breckenridge.
As you do.
And I said, oh, and he goes, and we live in southern Florida. And we fly up every 3 to 4 months. And this is our ski car, and we leave it parked at DIA.
Solid plan.
In a private, more of a private parking situation.
Okay, so not the $100 a day parking.
Not the $100 a day parking.
Good plan.
But I can't imagine what it is.
Could be cheap.
But he said it's technically covered parking.
Technically.
The only problem was they parked it under a pigeon nest. And so it got annihilated. And then I go, how did it get this bad, though? And he goes, well, 8 months ago we showed up. And he goes, we went to get in the car, and the battery was dead. He goes, and so I didn't want to deal with it because we had landed late at 11 o'clock. We just kind of wanted to get in the car and drive to the mountain and be done. He goes, so I just rented a car and left it here. And I go, okay. And he goes, so then we went, did our vacation, flew back, left the car. He goes, so then we got in, we rented a car, I went and got a battery, came back, put a battery in it, then got the car started, then brought it to you guys to wash it all off.
If you have not, we're putting some of the footage up.
9 months.
It was, I've never seen it. It was the perfect car to test, how far can we push this? It was Poobaroo is the most. I gotta give Keenan credit for that. That was his name.
I will tell you, it stunk. Once we got it wet, it smelled so bad.
Could you imagine? The layers of stuff. It was dusty, and then you got kind of the jet soot, exhaust soot kind of thing from the airport all day, every day.
Soot, pollen, everything.
And then birds a few birds have hatchlings. Those birds had grown up. Those birds also pooed on the car, then had children of their own, and those birds pooed on the car. It was bad. It was so bad.
And what was nice was at least the video didn't really show it, but there was massive amounts of etching.
Yeah.
And when I called him to say hey, we could try and buff some of this out, but realistically, the 9-month poo stains have already done damage.
Yeah.
The ones that maybe happened like in the last month, we could probably take care of. And he goes, nah, it's his
beater
car.
right?
It's totally fine. So for him, he said, I've found another private parking garage that actually has lot attendants that go and start people's cars to keep the batteries charged, and they make sure that like the car's still got the air in the tires, that batteries stay tended. So he leaves the keys with the attendant.
Not bad.
They just have to let him know. So now I don't know what that's going to cost.
This guy's in a very different tax bracket
But
than
a
us.
much different tax bracket than we are to be able to like.
That's not a reality. I don't. Yeah. Well, my chalet in Breckenridge. First I need a chalet in Breckenridge. Then I can worry about having a ski car to drive to my chalet in Breckenridge. So I'm a ways off. I got some
ski
things.
beater.
The ski beater.
22 Subaru Outback ski beater.
It wasn't a bad car either.
No.
It was in pretty good shape outside of that. But yeah, the comments on it it hit it's over 20,000 views on TikTok. And it's like it went bananas. A lot of questions were like, well, what about the etching? And it's like I kept after replies like there was some etching. I mean, there's no avoiding that with that amount of exposure. But from 15, 20 feet away, the car looked great when it was done. And totally. I'm confident like you. I think a lot of that could have been cleaned up with a one step. But if you didn't need it, didn't need it. That's perfect lesson for you detailers out there. Deliver exactly what the customer wants and nothing extra. We could have polished it. We didn't need to because he didn't want us to. It's just going to get covered in stuff again.
We vacuumed it. We wiped out everything. Got a lot of the 9 months of dust that was sitting in the inside. And he was happy. He came out and he was like, wow, looks amazing. He didn't care about all the etching that was in the clear coat. He was just like, it's clean. It's nice. We can drive it now and not feel embarrassed.
Clean and shiny. That's what people want, man.
The only thing that we probably should have done first, and it's something, and it was kind of our choice, was we thought, let's just pull it in. We'll rinse it off. Make for a good ASMR video. But we probably should have just attempted to run it through the automatic.
Let it knock the crust off.
What the automatic could actually do
in
a car like that after sitting 9 months.
That was pretty crusty.
So that would have been neat too.
Yeah. Next time we have a car that's been at the airport for 8 months, we'll try
automatic first.
So any other interesting stories? Anything? I mean, it's been an interesting week for weather. So the showroom's been kind of the rain and hail situation here.
Fun fact: we've had the most rain since in 20 years for these 4 weeks.
Well, that explains it.
They said we've had more rain than Seattle during this 4-week period.
Move to Seattle and have a nice warm, dry vacation, right?
Who would have thought? G. Davis says, my ski chalet offers concierge rickshaw transportation.
By G. Davis?
By G. Davis himself, which is pretty good.
It's impressive.
So,
okay.
Not too shabby. Yeah.
Can't wait to check it out.
Looks like Slinky Doodle. What detail package was applied to this vehicle for reference? Interior details available as well. Yes, it was our classic is what the customer requested. And so that covered, we wash clay sealed the outside, and then we lightly vacuumed, blew out, and wiped down all the door panels, plastics, vinyl on the interior, and then did the windows.
Wheel faces and
tires.
tires.
Yeah.
So light detail.
Yeah.
Under an hour. I mean, find me a place that would get that car looking that much better in under an hour for the price that we did it for.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's he walked away happy. So yeah, probably not a lot of other. I mean, it's today we had as soon as the sun came out, there's like 4 or 5 walk-ins right away. So the people are coming in. But anything else interesting this week in the showroom?
No, the biggest thing is, like I said, it's just weather. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I thought this was normal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is great because in Boise it's like 100 degrees this week, and here I'm like, I was talking to Anthony the other day, and he goes, what's the weather like? It was hot. And I go, it's like going to be 48 tomorrow, high and rainy. And he was like, what? That sounds like really nice. We go, well, kind of want some sun.
It's got its catches. We'll be out of this soon. We're in that weird part of the year where it's just, this is going to be kind of like the cycle for another, we'll get through June, and halfway through June, it'll change. First you're here, you'll see. The pattern is the pattern. Every year, the amount of rain is different, but the days that it falls on always seems to be the same.
It's wild, yeah. But one thing that is fun, I think, is the new video that the boys have been working on. I think it's going to be something that people are going to really like to see. And kudos to my guys for being such good sports for these ideas.
Yeah, stay tuned for that one. If you ever want to see a guy get hosed down in a self-serve bay, not that way, G. Davis. If you ever want to see somebody get hosed down in a self-serve bay, we got something coming that's going to be pretty funny for you to watch. So
it'll be great.
You'll enjoy. And so speaking of weather, it will break. Looks like tomorrow is going to be beautiful, and you and the guys are going to be out at Cars and Coffee. So.
Yeah, we're actually going to be at the Adams Cars and Coffee, first one of the year.
Did you know? So, and I just found
excited.
out that is the largest Cars and Coffee in the state, according to them.
I could see that.
It's a big one. I've gone a couple of times. It's a monster. So at Flatiron's Church, for those of you guys that are in the area in Lafayette. Kicks off at 7 a.m., going to 10. You and the guys are going to be there. I'm going to pop in for a little while and just see what's what. Check out the scene. Giving away some free detail cards, some car wash discounts. We got some air fresheners. Stop by and see us if you're in the area. Come check us out. Hanging out with our buddies from Adams Polishes. Going to check this out. Might become a regular thing.
Right next to the Adams Polishes booth too. So
works well. Right, I love it. Love working with our guys. So I'm gonna pivot.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce a new segment.
Okay. I like this idea.
I found a few things that I think are weird and I want to bring to the discussion, unless we have any comments on... No.
Nothing so far.
Ski chalets. Cool. Hot ski chalet talk. Yeah. I want to bring a little bit of automotive news into our weekly thing because I come across, and I swear my Instagram feed is cooked, man, because I engage with these videos, and the weirder the video on cars...
You like it.
I get more of it because, the AIs and the algorithms and the things, right? So... First topic that I think is hilarious, and if you have not seen this video, I think it's great. Volvo debuted a new seatbelt system.
Okay.
So, and I went, interesting, because Volvo is known for...
Progenitor of seatbelts.
Yes, and if nothing else, they are known for safety, right? Crumple zones, all the things. You buy a Volvo because it's a safe car. It's built to be these things. So I'm going to outline this, and I want your take on this. Okay. So the seatbelt is now integrated with sensors and different devices that detect the height, weight, shape, and size of the individual to specifically restrain them in a collision dependent on those factors, right? So if you are a large human,
right,
and it senses a lot of weight and you're rather rotund, the way it will restrain you is slightly different.
I can see that. If you think about like the amount of an impact and the amount of mass in the vehicle and having to slow that down, I could see like seatbelts have to kind of already have like a limit. So it'd be kind of different if there was like, an 11-year-old, well, even just me versus Logan.
That's true.
In the car, right? Like there's a different amount of mass.
You're at least
and so,
2 Logans.
Yeah, I'm at least 2 Logans. And so the point is like there's 2 more of me in the front seat, So I could see that.
Okay.
I'm just amazed. How do they do that? Well, how do they figure that out?
The first thing that went into my mind though is
on the seat.
It's weight on the seat probably, and there's probably some amount like how far is the thing out, right?
Yeah.
How far is the belt retracted to encompass the person,
right?
But then I started going like all the other seatbelt innovations I've seen, and I go, how could this horribly go wrong? And then I go back to my we're old enough to remember these. Remember the automatic seatbelts that would go down on the ankle or the car?
Those were my favorites.
And then you'd forget it was there and come across and choke you like this.
Yeah.
What happens when one of these seat sensors misreads the weight or the height or something? And how horrible is that experience? Like you're going to be driving along and all of a sudden you hit a bump and you get a little heavier in the seat.
Up.
And it goes,
You crash into something because your seatbelt caused
I'm sure
it.
the engineers at Volvo have considered these things. I just think of it and go, do I really want an algorithm-driven decision for my seatbelt? I just want to slow me down in a crash. And I go,
part of me feels like
I'm not a safety expert. I can't say for sure.
A mechanical seatbelt is never going to fail you the way that computerized
kind of
seatbelt is going to.
See, we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm an old square body kid. Like I grew up with Chevy square bodies. Like that was it.
Yep.
And so it was always a lap belt if you were lucky.
Yeah, if it had that.
Like I remember getting pulled over when I was a teenager, and a cop pulled me over and goes, "You're not wearing your seatbelt." And I go, "Really?" And I leaned back and I had my lap belt, and he goes, and he was younger than me at the time, and he looked in and he was like, "Oh, it doesn't have it." And I go, "Nope, it does not."
Go back a little further. They didn't have anything.
Yeah, it was a '73 Chevy pickup, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Like, when I think about the seatbelts, I think about the retractables. I think about
had one in my '89 Accord.
Yeah, so it's just like they always broke.
Yeah.
They never worked. I had friends that had cars that like that '89 Accord. It was like the clip for it was always stuck here, and your friend would be like, "Oh no, you just got to kind of pull it back manually and then clip it in yourself."
Hope it works.
Then I think back to I can't remember how old I was, but my dad drove a Mazda B series pickup truck for a while with jump seats in the back, and the ones that's folded outside was sitting sideways in the back of an extended cab, tiny little pickup truck with a seatbelt that was barely adjustable. Just go, that seems safe. So a long way we've come, and we're now letting the machines make decisions for how they're going to restrain us in these situations.
Impressive.
So not to go completely on the Volvo tip, but then when I went down this rabbit hole about trying to understand the Volvo seatbelts. So do you know how Volvo came up with the sound for their turn signals?
No.
This is fascinating. So
every car's different.
Every car's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it's a sound, right? In the olden days, it was an actual mechanical thing, right? It was the
clicker.
It was the clicker that was turning the sequential light on and off. That was the sound of the mechanical movement. Well, everybody gets conditioned to understanding that when my turn signal's on, I hear the tick, 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 tick sound. So as we've gone to modern cars and digital, they've recreated that sound several ways.
Yeah.
And the only reason this really perked my interest up after looking at the seatbelt thing was a friend who recently bought a Volvo SUV, I think XC90, something like that. And we were brand new, and I'm in his car, and his turn signal has this very like pleasant, like organic sound to it. And I was like, that's weird. I hadn't thought anything of it until I saw this. The engineering team at Volvo, wait for this, broke over 300 different types of wooden sticks that they found in nature until they found the perfect stick, which I think I wrote it down here. Turns out to be a spruce that was located near their location in Sweden. Then worked with sound engineers to recreate that sound digitally so that the turn signal in your Volvo sounds
like a spruce from the property.
Yep.
How dry is that wood? Is it a soft wood? Is it a dry wood?
Is like it a crackling sound, like a fireplace? I would liken it to if you had like a wooden spoon and you were tapping it gently on a countertop. That's it. It's strikingly, like, now that I know this, I'm like even more fascinated by it, because when I was in his car, I was like, that's as pleasant as a turn signal sound could be.
Right, yeah.
But it was one of those, like, now that I read this, I'm like, wow, they spent how many millions of dollars to do this?
Holy cow.
But then now every time I hear my turn signals, I'm a little frustrated by that. So
yeah, no, I'm going to go home and think that.
A cacophony of terrible digital sounds. I just want to, would we really be impressive if they loaded the car with actual sticks and broke them every time you turn your turn
There's just a little guy breaking sticks for you.
In other automotive news, Mr. Levi Gates,
right.
the Ram TRX is coming back for 2026. Rumors have it.
Okay.
So I, myself, fan of big V8 gas guzzling pickups, despite my current choice of vehicle, get this one. 797 horsepower. So that's a 70 horsepower
not
bump.
like elephant level.
I think they're still in the demon, but they're up in the horsepower. So an 800, we're 3 short. Let's just call it what it is. 800 horsepower, full size pickup truck.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So I like, as a fan of big blocks and large motors, I'm impressed. I'd love to see if they can get that, and I would like to see what Ford does in retaliation. But I actually really liked when they said, like, hey, we're going to try the Rhino and we're going to do the Hurricane twin turbo V6 and get 5. I was like, kind of, oh, all right, let's see what this one can do. So I'm here for it. It goes back, I think you and I are of the same age. It goes back to when there was this, like, if you remember the early F bodies, when the SS and the WS6 first came out, and it was like, we've reached 300 horsepower, and it would have been our senior year of high school.
What an insane number,
right? And it would have been like, whoa,
yeah.
The new SS is putting out 300 horsepower. Holy cow! And you could get it, like an SLP was doing it, and you were like, wait, they have a different exhaust too that you could get
even more.
That could give you an extra 15, so you're talking 330 horsepower. Like, I loved that time because that was like that start of like, wait, hold on. And then they're like, the Viper's got this much.
Yeah.
And this is what the trucks are getting. You're like, wait, what? And
the
then
horsepower wars are alive
a couple
and well.
years later, right, the big block 8.1 pops up, and it's like, what? That's putting out as much torque and horsepower as a diesel? No way. Like, so I love this. Like, I can't believe that we have that capacity to hit nearly 1,000 horsepower on these combustion engines.
Well, yeah, and I'm not even going to bring it up in too much depth here, but the new Corvette is now at 1,064 for the new ZR1, which is just,
it's insane
for a sub. I think with dealer markup, they're going to be in the 200s, but they're sub $200,000 car, probably $160,000 car with 1,000 horsepower that's streetable. Unbelievable times to be alive.
It's wild.
I remind you guys, if you guys want to comment on any of this stuff, or tell me I'm an idiot and say, you know what, no, Dylan, an 800 horsepower pickup truck is totally a good idea, then tell me I'm wrong. But I get frustrated by, because you brought up a good point. So, Raptor response, they had the twin turbo V6, the regular Raptor, and they come out Raptor R and they do the V8 version. Yeah. Chevy is not playing this game at all. They're just like, we'll just keep, you can get a 6.2.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand. They have the capacity. They have everything. They have all the tools in the toy box. They've got the multimatic.
They're building 1,000 horsepower Corvettes, but they can't build me an 800 horsepower Silverado?
Yeah. I don't understand it. Even like the Fox factory truck.
Yeah.
Like, cool. why can't you guys make it?
Yeah, just do it actually do it at the factory level. Stop sending it to somebody else to do it. And
I don't understand it. Maybe they're just being safe.
I mean, I had the Trail Boss, which is a 6.2, and it's a great truck. Made fun noises, especially after I cut the exhaust off it and just ran resonators. Straight Piper 6.2, kids, it's worth it. But it was one of those things that, as much as it was fun to drive, and a guy in a TRX or a Raptor pulled next to me, I was like, I had to kind of do the, hey, how's it going? I'm not like, it's just, it is ultimately, at the end of the day, at every stoplight, you are measuring up to the guy next to you, whether you're racing or not. I do not condone street racing, but it's one of those things that it just was like, man, I have a 6.2, they have 6.2s, but they get forced induction and I don't. And if I had it aftermarket, then GM's going to take my warranty and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
so.
my brother-in-law had a Tundra with the factory supercharger. Then he did methane injection. Then he put drag bars on the back. Then he put different suspension, different wheels. All of a sudden, he had 650 horsepower Tundra. And then he sold it and bought a regular Raptor and a Raptor R. Just so he could have both.
Well, you gotta have the best of both worlds.
You
need a commuter
he
and
did,
a
and
fun
that's pretty
toy.
much what it was. Well, this is the one I drive to work every day. This one's for the weekends. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's fun.
Oh, God. I do love the Hummer. I'm just, every once in a while I get the itch for exhaust note.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun truck to drive, but I do miss it.
Well, and that's like the Hyundai Ioniq, the N version has the exhaust notes. And you can have different tunable versions where you can have the growly exhaust. You can even have a Starfighter if you want. I want all those things. And I don't understand why they won't just unlock it as like a download for someone who wants to pay. Like I'd pay an extra $10 a month just to have that.
Get your exhaust subscription.
Sound. Yeah, my exhaust subscription. I don't need Sirius XM. Give me my exhaust subscription.
Turn the radio off and just listen to my phony exhaust. Yeah, I don't know if I can get behind the fake exhaust thing. I don't know if I could do it. I mean, it would maybe it kind of bridge the gap for me a little bit, but I really do. I don't know.
Like I said, the funnest thing I've ever done is see Dirk Do has the digital exhaust for his van. He has a diesel minivan, Mercedes diesel minivan with a full AMG body kit, AMG wheels on it. It's black with red leather interior. It's a beautiful minivan.
Checks out.
It's gorgeous. He's got a button. He's got it hooked up to the Audi CAN bus sound system that literally is for the e-trons that creates that exhaust notes. And you can program it to anything. So you got a program chip, got all the stuff. Sounds like literally like a 6.3 liter AMG when he hits a button, and it's attached to his throttle. And so he starts it, and it's just a little 4-cylinder diesel clatter, and then pushes the button, and it turns it into a 6.3 liter V8 burbling with a nice cam. And you're like,
was very confused.
Yeah, and you're like, what? And he revs it up, and it sounds mean, and it's coming out of the exhaust speakers. It's amazing. And so experiencing that, I was like, all right, I could probably roll with this.
Okay, maybe I do need a fake exhaust for the Hummer. Well,
yeah.
All right, well, that concludes our...
we got some more comments?
Oh, we're getting notes from the producer here.
We'll see if we've got some extra comments here.
There's all kinds of stuff coming in here. So that'll conclude the notes on the cars, but we'll have Levi check in here with the comments. Maybe you guys were not refreshing for us. So
it seems like it's...
there we go. You guys are live.
Nice. All right. So looks like... Julio saying, hey guys, salutes from Parker. Do you guys visit the Parker Vault every second Saturday of the month?
We've not done that, but I have. Well, actually, I can say I've been there once. I went there early on. It's really cool because the Vault thing is like the garage dominium type thing, customized, and they do a car show there. I went down once just to check out the car show. The challenge always becomes is we don't have a wash anywhere near there. So it's like...
the closest is Dove Valley.
Yeah, so I'd kind of go as like a personal trip. Definitely like really cool stuff there. Like the people open their garages and occasionally kind of see inside these garage mahal setups that they have. Maybe we'll get down there one of these days. So it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Cool. And then Slinky Doodle says Volvo is eco with the spruce. All right. And then... says that this, in regards to the seatbelts, feels like an AI-driven restraint system. Weird and a little concerning, but progressive, I guess.
Well, you stop paying your subscription, they just don't restrain you in a crash. That's how that goes.
And then
through the windshield
Lomax, of course, saying that Volvo inventing the 3-point system. G. Davis says, being hosed down in the self-service bay is what ended my first marriage. So
that checks out.
Good to know. Yeah.
Well, you got to get hosed down after running the rickshaw up the mountain. I get it. Yeah.
Yep. And then Umberto says, Dylan, you really look like Jason Otterness's twin today.
I'm going to have him on one of these days. Actually, I'm going to have him on in place of me. Maybe the next time I'm not here, we invite Jason out.
That'd be great. So,
all
right.
So there's our hot industry car talk. I would also invite you guys, if you're watching this live or you're watching this after it's been posted, anything else you want to talk about. I'm going to try and find some more. I just thought the Volvo stuff was weird, and then I was excited about V8 trucks getting more power.
It's unique.
There's so much. When I did this kind of rabbit hole dive, there's so much wild stuff going on in the automotive industry right now. So if there's anything that you think we should be aware of, drop it in the comments in this video, and we will talk about it next week or before the end of this stream if we get to it. So, and speaking of the exotic car world and that kind of stuff, the Gold Rush Rally was in town.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
I still am amazed that we live in an area. I live in an area
that's a destination for
rallies.
rallies.
A destination for rallies. Like 4 rallies have happened in the last month.
So they took over the Gaylord of the Rockies Hotel, which is the big one out by the airport. But I didn't get a chance to go down, but the parking lot looked like an exotic car dealership. And it was just one of those, like, same kind of thing. I was like, well, it's kind of cool that we are a destination spot for all these rallies, because it was Grant Maynard was here for the Corsa.
The Corsa rally.
You got Gold Rush.
Crown Rally
was here. And then you got...
Crown started at Coors Field, too.
Yeah, and then Automobile is going to be coming through. It's just, you ever done a rally?
No.
I've never done a rally. I don't have a car good enough for a rally.
Yeah, so I don't either.
I imagine it's a lot of fun. I also imagine it's very expensive. When I look at the cars that are there, I go, I would not drive that car that distance unless I had enough money to buy another one of those cars. But
or pay another friend to drive along with a truck and trailer in case anything happened.
There was all kinds of stuff. The number of like GT3 Porsches that were in that mix, and that's a track car. What you're going to do? They were going Beverly Hills to Chicago.
Jeez.
With stops here. I think they were going to Kansas City. I forget what the exact route was for Gold
Maybe
Rush,
we'll be able to do one. Like once we have multiple locations in multiple areas,
maybe,
and then we can do it.
We'll just chase the rally along the Autowash route, the Autowash Trail.
Yeah, we'll build like a fire truck, like a Wetland fire truck that has all the wash stuff on it.
Just be the chase team.
Yeah,
just be there to clean cars up for people. Yeah, I thought it was really cool though, but I was like, I was trying to figure out exactly how many cars they had, but I did see a couple of videos, and like there was a video I watched of somebody just doing a road standby as they were doing their takeoff, and it went on forever. And then just, at a certain point, it starts to look like a loop because there's just so many cars, and they're all doing their pull out. And I don't know. I think I want to discover that reality. It's like they're going to cool places. They're driving cars in a group. I imagine they're probably all doing the speed limit and being very safe and responsible.
Of course. Why wouldn't
they not be? But I mean, heck, hang out in the city for a little bit with a bunch of guys that have cool cars. Stay at a nice hotel. Jump in the car. Drive the next day.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I think it'd be fun. My dad has talked about doing some of those with his cars.
Yeah.
He's always talked like, I would love to do a rally. I've never done a rally, and he's hoping to have at least one of his vehicles capable of doing that, but his ultimate like bucket list item that'll probably, I don't know if it'll ever be achievable, is he wants to do Peking to Paris. And
good Lord, I'm
reading a book about the Peking to Paris right now, and it is insane the way that they came up with that race 120 years ago, and it's fascinating.
I think you're going to say something like Hot Rod Power Tour going from
Iowa
to...
Hot Rod Power Tour would be fun too, or Ultimate Adventure would be fun with four-wheeler, but yeah, he was like, I'd love to do Peking to Paris. And I was like, in what car? And he's like, my 26 Chevy. I'm like, that would be crazy.
God bless you, sir.
Like, have fun with that.
Good luck and Godspeed. But my Lord. Well, I hope to discover it one of these days. I think at a bare minimum, we're going to try and get out. I know our friends over at Advance, they're highly involved with the automobile that happens every year. So when that comes up this year, I think I want to try and at least tag along for part, because their rally is not a long distance. They kind of go up in the mountains and do their thing up there. So it's all within the state for the most part. And obviously not the size of Gold Rush, but still it's all local guys. Yeah. We know the team, so it'd be fun to do. Yeah. How are we doing in the comments?
Umberto says, Levi, can't you just drive Ragnarok for the rally? I could, but it's 8 miles, 10 miles to the gallon.
Make it to the next stop?
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be able to keep up. I'd have to put like extra gas in the truck. And then G. Davis saying, isn't Chevy having issues with premature truck engine failures? I saw their Band-Aid was to use a higher viscosity oil. Good. I've seen that in Instagram posts of people complaining about the new trucks blowing motors.
It would not be the first time that Chevy's had a systemic engine issue. I have, for all of the ones I've owned, I've been very lucky. I didn't have the lifter failure in the 6.2, the 5.3 that I had before that. I forgot what it was. It may have been ejector failure or piston slap, something. Always something with the GM truck. I give them a little bit of leeway because they sell so damn many of them.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't make it okay. I just like, it's like, I kind of always lean back on the fact that people complain more. I didn't wake up every day I owned that red truck and go and run to the internet and go, everything worked exactly as expected today.
Well,
Internet.
yeah. Well, I have that currently. I see it on my Reddit feed for the Ioniq 5. Everyone goes, there's ICCU issues.
Yeah.
So people are like,
oh, there must be tons of them.
There are tons. Everyone's got one. And well, it's like, okay, everybody that does it is like, I hit 25,000 miles on it, and then I got it.
Yeah.
And it was because the battery went dead.
Yeah.
And they've owned it for 3 or 4 years. And it's like, well, you're supposed to change the batteries anyway. Like a car battery needs to get changed every 3 or 4 years anyway, sometimes, depending on it. And other people are like, just go to the Schwab and get like their big fancy battery, and then you don't have to worry about that stuff. So I think it's just the knowledge that all of us have as being more car guys than people who get a car, don't have that knowledge, and then complain and post about it.
Yeah, when I was shopping for the Hummer, a lot of people are like, oh man, those things they're riddled with problems, and any vehicle's got its problems. It's just, it is what it is. And so in the group, it's like, oh yeah, it's like another one with a failed battery. I'm like, well, but if you think about the sheer number of these that have sold and the dozen or so that have been documented or whatever it is in this group, it's like, guys, like, again, keep in mind, it's only like people don't run to the internet to tell everybody that everything went great that day. They run to tell you this thing didn't work, this sucks. And that's the Facebook groups, especially Facebook car groups. The internet in general is a place where people go to complain, and then learn, not share that their positive experience. Like, I'm not going to go and start a post every day and go, the Hummer worked exactly as expected today. So no problems. Day 345.
Yeah.
No problems today. There's none of that documentation. Everything you're going to read online that's documented for the most part, especially in public groups, is going to be people who have had an issue because the first place they run is somewhere where people are going to listen. And
totally.
So then the perception becomes, well, these must suck.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, they're not really. Just a lot of noisy people. The noisy people are the ones complaining. Well, I actually did find my notes. So the Gold Rush Rally was going to Kansas City next.
Oh, okay, nice.
It started in Beverly Hills, and it will go all the way to Chicago. So Beverly Hills, I can't even afford to start that rally. So in our other news, actually, before we get to news, let's take a quick break.
You got to
reset
watch this video.
Here. We got a video for you to watch. Everyone loves a shiny, glossy car, especially when it is something as cool as this Nissan GTR. But why do some cars end up looking like this? There's one answer: brush washes. Today I'm going to explain to you why you should be using touchless and why you should be choosing Autowash to take care of your car. So maybe you've driven past an Autowash location or heard about us or seen us online somewhere and wondered, what is the deal with Autowash? We seem to really focus on that touch-free, acid-free, non-corrosive philosophy of ours. There's a good reason for that. Now, I'm not for a second suggesting that a really well-modified and glossy Nissan GTR is the same thing as a Ford Escape, but regardless of the reason that you have your car, whether it's a commuter or a show car, you want to keep the exterior in its best possible shape, not just for appearance, but also just for the integrity of the vehicle. So most car washes are going to use things like spinning brushes and wraps, things that make physical contact with the vehicle to scrub the dirt away. As it's doing that, it's pulling the dirt, the grime, and the grit into that brush. While some of it's rinsed away, not all of it can be. So all of those cars that have gone through the wash before you, some of that dirt is trapped in those, basically making them into giant pieces of sandpaper that's then being rubbed into every car after that. Most modern vehicles come from the factory with a clear coat, which is essentially a clear layer over the paint that gives it that gloss and shine. Unfortunately, it's a very thin layer, about the thickness of a dollar bill, so it is incredibly delicate. So when you go through a wash that uses brushes or comes into contact with that paint, you're causing damage to this incredibly thin layer. Once it's damaged, you have to pay for an expensive paint correction or possibly even a respray at a body shop to restore that shine again. So that's why we do touchless. We use filtered, spot-free heated water and our specialized non-corrosive chemistry and dozens of nozzles on the machine to clean without touching. That way, the next time you see your car in the sun, it doesn't look worse than the last time you washed it. So hopefully that helps you understand why we are so fanatical about touchless washing here at Autowash, and why you should be too, because you love your car. If you haven't checked us out yet, stop by an area location or visit us online at autowashco.com to learn everything about our touchless washing process and all the benefits that we have to offer. It's nice to have a brief interruption in the whole thing and listen to the beautiful sound of my own voice for another 3 minutes in between other things.
Yeah, it was a nice break for me.
No relief in sight.
No, but I love that. I love that video because you took a car through the car wash.
Cried a little inside while I did it. Yeah.
Enjoyed that a little bit. Like, it was kind of one of those, like, there's not many people that literally will torture a vehicle in that way.
That one had been tortured before, but it was still torture to go through. As we were recording, it was funny because the noise of things slapping a car inside of a brush-based wash is so loud. We're kind of concerned, like, wonder how the audio is going to come out.
Yeah,
like, it did come out okay because the mic was a little shielded, but it was like one of those, like, God, people do this and they honestly don't.
They find it relaxing.
Yeah, they find it relaxing, or don't know that I can't. It causes damage to my car. I'm like, yeah, just like hitting it with a hammer does, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, God, like it is noisy. It's just this constant barrage of slap, 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 a couple hundred RPM of foam things slapping your car. But yeah, that video was a fun one to shoot. I'm proud of our boy Logan, our producer Logan. That was a good one. He scripted it out. He had the concepts. I'm just the dumb monkey that shows up on camera and talks.
Worked out well.
But if you haven't seen that video before, hope you guys liked it. Go back, you can find it, give it a like, give it a comment, all that kind of fun stuff. So I think it is time that we do. I've been dreading this moment. We've done it in every live as the official car wash sponsor of the Colorado Rockies. It's time to check on a few stats. Insert screaming sounds, baby crying, things on fire.
We did sweep the Marlins this week.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That'll
3
be what
games in a
turns
row.
around.
Woo!
So for those of you that don't know, we are the official car wash sponsor of the Colorado Rockies. A beautiful stadium, fun place to go watch a game. We host some car shows there. But the product on the field this year has been, to say, a little less than good.
It's my inaugural year as a Rockies fan, and it is, let me say, it's hard to watch. However,
welcome.
I got to take the kids both kids and the wife, and we got to go to the Yankees game. And it was the one that they won.
Oh, see, there you go.
And so it was perfect for my kids because all they knew was the Rockies won against the Yankees. And that's all they need to know.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about watching the rest of the games or any of that kind of stuff. It's just, our team's doing good, guys.
They're doing good, kid.
They're doing good.
Don't pay attention to the records.
Yeah, don't look.
Kids aren't watching ESPN, huh? Okay. Nope. Well, if you don't know how bad this is, I did pull a few stats because we are in all-time bad territory.
But this is history.
This is history in the making.
Yeah.
So silver lining, the Rockies will go down in the history books, and it's going to take a hell of a season.
Yeah, 20 years from now, you and I will look back on this moment and go, do you remember that first year and how bad they were? They're like the greatest team in baseball now. It's wild to think.
Maybe someday.
Who knows?
So, worst 50-game start in the history of MLB, ever. 50-game start at 8-42.
How long has the MLB been around? How long has baseball been around? Over 100 years.
Over 100 years. And I don't doubt that 8-42 is the worst start. That's hard to do. You can accidentally win more than 8 games.
Very hard to do.
You got to be trying. Like, there's got to be some effort in, like, guys, we're not going to win this game today.
When I went and saw them play the Padres, it looked like a high school team.
Yeah.
Playing. And I was like, okay. Like, they're making lots of errors. The Padres were just hitting bombs. I was like, I feel like this is a little league team playing against like a high school team.
Feels unfair.
It's just like, we can't be doing this.
Stop picking on them. It's not fair. So additional stats, new league record for fewest wins before the end of May. Wow. So they only won 9 games before May was out. That is rough when the season starts in April.
That's amazing.
That is, again, not even double-digit wins before the end of May. Worst series loss streak. And this one I thought was interesting. 22 straight series losses dating back to September of 2024, which, if they swept the Marlins, they finally broke that or stopped that streak.
Yeah, they did.
But holy crap. They literally have not won a series since last year.
This is the first, like, that Marlins series was the first series that one that you said that they won, and then on top of that, they had the winningest streak in all of MLB. That, like, at the end of the beginning of this week, they were number 1 in wins, in winning streaks.
hope
for the first team to win 3 games in a row in MLB history, which is hilarious to be the worst, simultaneously the worst team in the league.
It's hard to do.
And then have the winningest streak for 1 week because they're going up against the Mets tonight.
I really hope the coaches were in the clubhouse after giving out orange slices and Capri Suns. So let's see. Still on pace for the worst record in MLB history. So now the game becomes, will they do it? And we might actually, I'd like to introduce a new segment. We will introduce it now.
Will the
Rockies watch. So we will check in every 2 weeks on their push towards legendary status, being the losingest team.
Yeah. Well, they announced that you could bet to have them win the World Series.
Oh God, it's
200,000 to 1.
Is it even statistically possible? If they won out the rest of the season, I don't think they could even.
It's literally
make
everyone's like,
the
but there's a literally I think they have to start this week and continue to win to make it to the playoffs. But it was funny to see on Reddit, on the Rockies Reddit, people going like, so I could like put like $100 bet down.
I know what you have to lose at this point.
Just hope and see, like, and if it pays out, it pays out.
We give them crap. We do enjoy being a Rockies partner. The staff there is great. The stadium's beautiful.
That was a gorgeous stadium.
It's a fun experience. I'm going. I'm going to be
We're going tomorrow night.
I'm unfortunately unable to attend. I have another engagement, but you get to enjoy it without me. But I'm going to be going in towards the end of the month. I have tickets for one of the day games against the Dodgers, which I think will probably be the best one to watch because one, as a long-suffering Angels fan who gets to just watch Shohei Ohtani stick the knife in and twist it further.
Right.
The Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Dodgers are the Dodgers.
So one of two things can unfold in this game, in my opinion, that I will be sitting at on a day game. Either the Dodgers set a home run record, just absolutely eviscerate them like 42-3.
Yeah, right.
Or the Rockies upset the Dodgers.
Should be amazing. They did it to the Yankees.
They did it to the Yankees. It could happen. So I will be there. I will be watching with bated breath, and maybe we'll get to see something special happen. Either a all-time record. I was in the stands. It was last season. I was in the Autowash seats for when the Angels came into town, when Shohei Ohtani was still a part of the Angels. And that was the game where the Angels scored 28 runs and the Rockies scored none. So I think it was 28 or 23, but they were 1 run short of breaking a record, and I was almost there for it. I just missed it. But still, as an Angels fan at that point.
We got to watch. We went last year in September to see when the Dodgers were in town, and Shohei was on the Dodgers, and we got to see a couple good home runs. Probably what was the most stolen bases he's ever done in a game.
Checks out.
Which, I mean, he was on fire that night.
Yeah.
So, and it was Charlie Blackmon's last game.
Yeah.
So it was a good time.
Checking on the comments, see if we got anything going on in there today.
Looking like we've got a couple down here. G. Davis, I'm still available if they need that 5th starter long relief guy. So I guess the joke is there's open tryouts.
Oh, I'm sure.
For every position in the Rockies.
It comes with a little waiver you sign when you get to the game.
Yeah, and G. Davis says 42 wins is the lowest ever in a season. And then David Boyce saying the Rockies are playing the White Sox like the White Sox were 2 years ago. Yeah, so the White Sox are now second worst team in the league, and the Rockies are the first worst team in the league.
The White Sox had the season they had last year, and the Rockies said, hold my beer.
Yeah, and it said, they were on 18 games. 1 in 8 games 2 years ago under sleepy Tony La Russa, who literally slept in the dugout during the games.
Checks out.
Yeah. So our the head coach got sacked, and the bench coach is moved up.
Yep, Bud Black is no longer with the team. I don't think it's his fault. I don't think this is a coaching issue.
No, and I think that is that probably wasn't the issue. I think it was just a catastrophic ton of stuff happening.
Yep, for sure.
But I am excited for the Savannah Bananas coming.
Yes.
To Coors Field. I'm really hoping I get my email that says we got tickets.
They are not. They're not cheap.
No.
A friend of mine just went and saw them in Anaheim. And he still lives in the area, and he saw them, and he sent me pictures. He had pretty decent seats, and I think Troy Gloss, legendary Angel Troy Gloss, came out and actually played for the Bananas for 1 inning, and he was sending me video clips, and it looks like everything that I hoped it would be. It looks like a blast. He said it was like best money he's ever spent on a baseball ticket.
It's amazing.
Sounds like a blast. So I hope to get tickets someday, if not this year.
Hopefully. Please, if you guys are watching us, make sure Levi and Dylan get
Banana Ball
put up in there for the Banana Ball.
All right.
We'd appreciate it.
So back into detailing topics. And again, feel free to drop your comments, questions, or anything about detailing car care or cars in general in the comments. I came across something, and I'm not going to put anybody on blast. So this is a an open discussion.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, and I'm going to give him a shout out, that detail guy. So he is at that D, the letter D, tail guy, on Instagram and I think on TikTok as well. I came across one of his videos. I thought interesting take. And just poke a few holes in it. Not trying to start an argument.
Well,
but
and again, we've been in this industry for 30 years on both ends, as detailers and as people within the industry developing and creating tools and equipment.
Yep.
And chemicals.
Yep. So I would look up his account if I were you and watch the video. He's got a very specific video that I'm going to reference. And again, not picking an argument with the guy because it's a compelling argument that he's making, but I just like to counter some of the things that he says in this. And the preface of it is this: he started off with that KCX Gummy Fix, which is a product that we know and love.
It's a product I actually love.
Yeah, is a scam because he said if you get your hands on the SDS, and I kind of made paraphrasing what he said. He says if you can read an SDS, you have the products in your, under your kitchen sink and in your pantry to make this. He says it's nothing but rubbing alcohol and glycerin, and that's the point where I went, well, it's not.
It's not just that.
It's not that simple.
No.
I mean, there are things that you can make at-home versions of, a little more simple chemistry. You want to make an at-home glass cleaner, totally possible to do. It's not a complicated chemical to make. And I'm not even saying necessarily the stuff that he made, because he makes it in the video and he puts it side by side, and we don't know long-term durability, usability, all that kind of stuff. But he makes it. It's functional. So I'm not saying he couldn't make a product. To say though that a product is a rip-off or is a scam simply because you can get access to the SDS and source the chemicals yourselves to make it doesn't necessarily mean that you're making the same thing. And I would point it out this way. And you and I talked about this before the live stream. An SDS is not a recipe.
No.
It is the safety data sheet. So for those that you don't know, safety data sheet. It is the required documentation that you have to have. It's an OSHA standard that basically says, if this stuff catches on fire, if you get it in your eyes, if it gets spilled, here's how much of this thing is in it. Here's how much of that thing is in it. But it is not the recipe.
No.
And so
it's just the items that could cause damage if they enter your body or sit on the surface of your body or land on the ground.
Exactly. That's
it.
General safety for handling and other situations. It's safety.
This product has some of this in it.
Yes. Again, it's in the name. Safety data.
I've got a great similarity. It's like ICP used to have their concerts and they used full sugared soda, Faygo.
Okay.
And they would absolutely destroy concert venues.
Okay.
At one point, they came to Red Rocks and did that as well.
Okay.
And they shot so much soda all over Red Rocks that the next morning there were so many bees from all the sugar that the janitorial staff had an issue cleaning Red Rocks because of how many bees, because of the sugar.
Okay.
So now they changed to Diet Faygo.
Oh, good.
They still do the same amount of damage to whatever venue they achieve, but there's no sugar and no stickiness and no bees, so the cleanup's a little easier. So it goes back to that. Yes, the SDS states these items, but that doesn't mean those are the only things in it.
Exactly.
Just like the Faygo. Still going to destroy everything.
You know what I didn't have on my live stream bingo card for the day? An ICP reference.
I know, right?
It's the insane
It popped in my head, and
really?
I was like, oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, so I'm not going to attack the guy because I think he brings up a good point, and it's like, and please feel free to drop anything in the comments if you guys want to talk about this more in depth or if you have any theories on this. But there are, again, I could make a glass cleaner at home. I have made a glass cleaner in a pinch at home, and it does use rubbing alcohol and a couple other components, and you can make a glass cleaner that's fairly effective. Maybe not as good as some of the stuff that you buy. And he made the assertion that you're just paying for the marketing, you're paying for this. Well, yeah, of course, with anything you're paying for the marketing because marketing is part of the overhead for the company that makes the product, right? Exactly. That's how you became aware of it in the first place in these things. But one thing we do have to touch on is that an SDS, again, is a safety data sheet. So it is not, any of the inert ingredients in it, and that can include colorants and dyes, but also anything that's non-reactive, that's a part of the formulation. It could be a pH neutralizer, right? Yep. So if something is too high of a pH neutralizer is considered an inert additive. You can add it. It's not included in the SDS. It's not required to be included, right? Because if they had to give you exactly the recipe for every single thing in the product, there'd be no reason to ever make anything because basically what you do is sell the recipe once and then everybody go, cool, I can print this out and just go make it myself. I'll go copy this. It's a peek into what's in it, but it's not exactly. And it's in ratios. A lot of times SDSs have ratios. It's between 1% and 5% of the formulation is this.
It's not the full formulation.
Exactly. So it's all these things. And then it's also, there's also important factors about about temperature and how it's blended. Is it compounded? Is it emulsified? At what stage? What chemicals get added when?
Yeah.
What reactions are you waiting before you add this? Again, something simple, then you don't have to necessarily worry about those things. You can add everything in at once, mix it all together, you end up with the thing. But a lot of products, Gumi Fix among them, I would say, there is a specific blending process to get the results that they're getting. Is it a fairly simple product? Yeah, it's not a complicated product, but there is more going on than what he's claiming in this. And like when I watch the video, it's like saying that specifically the blending style part of it. That's like saying that I can give you a recipe for anything. Let's say you want to make Dylan's
chocolate cake.
Yeah, Dylan's chocolate cake. Let's say it's chocolate cake. I can tell you there's eggs, flour. I can even give you rough ratios of it, but it's not going to tell you
which type, what
point to add them in, how to mix it. Do you mix it before or after this? When do you add the eggs? Is it right at the beginning?
Are we doing all the dries together and all the wets? Or
do I throw everything in the bowl and just mix it all at once? So
do I have to sift the flour?
Exactly. There's all these things, and then there's the actual cooking instructions, right? There's the process of actually turning it into the thing. So I would say that while an SDS is a glimpse into some of the componentry of it, it is definitely not the recipe. And so I just wanted to bring that.
Yeah, well, and what a lot of people don't also realize is like an SDS also, they can literally write in there, the chemical manufacturer, the company can literally say, this is our IP. Yeah. This is protected ingredients.
Yeah, protected proprietary. Yep.
And they will just say proprietary mix. That may be 3, 4, 5 ingredients that are not on there because those ingredients are their unique IP and what makes their product separate from anybody else's.
Yep. And
again, and this is something that if you guys have never, I'm sure you have with me, but you've met and listened to Dave Phillips talk. Mm-hmm. The guy's a genius when he talks about how stuff is made, but his easiest way he describes it is that baking thing. And he can say, you can make a chocolate cake this way. Mm-hmm. But you can also make a chocolate cake this way. Mm-hmm. And there's the people that put sour cream instead of milk. There are people that get this type of egg instead of this type of egg. There are people that use Hershey's cocoa instead of Ghirardelli cocoa. There's people that use almond milk or buttermilk, and they actually have to boil and make the milk. And then there's other people that just will use like cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Like there are so many different ways to make a chocolate cake, and that's one of the things he says is like many people, because he had that with Express, their Express interior cleaner.
Yep.
He goes, it's like soap and water, just kind of mixed in a fragrance. But then people were like, what do you mean it's soap? And he's like, okay, it's not that. It's actually this many different items that I've combined together to make this. Yeah. And they go, oh, okay. But you said it was just so he's detail guy's not wrong in his belief. I'm glad he's reading SDSs because there's not enough
detailers
who don't read SDSs and don't learn basic chemistry. And I was a failure at chemistry in school, and now I can keep up with the best of them when we talk chemistry. And same with you. Like we have been in it long enough, and we know enough chemists that it is not just cut and dry as that.
Yeah.
And if you break it down in that cake system, yes. You made a chocolate cake. What you're seeing is maybe just a box chocolate cake that says, this cake, you take this powder and you put an egg and a bit of water and some oil and you cook it at this temperature and you got your chocolate cake. Yeah, you do. But I guarantee you,
it's not the same chocolate cake.
My wife makes a chocolate cake that is a family recipe that's been a family recipe for 100 years. She has to boil water. She has to sift flour. She has to get this certain type of consistency before it goes in, and it has to sit in the fridge for like an hour before it gets poured into a pan.
Yep.
Like, there are so many more methods to the madness of that.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah. So, and I'll say it again one more time. So I don't want detail guy coming for me, right?
No,
he was very heated about his video, and it got me to watch. So
it did. I watched it.
Okay, kudos, man, because it got traction. He's getting tons of views on it.
Yeah.
I would just encourage him to maybe make a follow-up video that talks a little bit more about SDS, because I think it's a misleading piece of information. Say, if you can read an SDS and you have alcohol and glycerin, you can make this at home. You can make an equivalent. You can make something similar. You can make your own version of, but it isn't the same thing.
Yeah, you can make the Duncan Hines chocolate cake.
Exactly, and it's I think it's you do bring a good point. I'm glad he's reading SDSs, because I bet you if we polled the audience of detailers, there's probably very few that actually ever look at them. Right.
Last month, that was I've been doing this with the boys, getting them ready to do their SV, their CDs and their SVs. And that was what we sat down in the morning and we drilled down SDSs and we broke them down, and I pulled it up on the screen and showed them this is how you read it. This is what it's for. We went out back here, pulled the file that we've got with all of our SDSs for every chemical in the building, just so that they could learn this is what an SDS is.
And how to read one, right?
And this is why it's here.
It's not a recipe.
So,
it's not an SDS recipe. It's just the SDS. One last check on the comments. We were coming up on time, my man. That flew by.
I know, right? G. Davis says the Bananas sold 62,000 tickets in Tampa. And then he says, don't Google that tail guy.
Okay,
Make sure we don't do that. Yeah. And then he goes, I think most of us would be thrilled to buy a pie from Dylan. And then
I don't make pies.
David Boyce says, falsely accused of KCX having a scam product can and will get you sued for punitive damages. That's another thing. Just be careful if you're going to bring up something like that, because you never know.
You can have an opinion that you don't like something.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair.
Well,
if you don't like, or if you think it's overpriced for what it is, that's also an opinion that's totally fair to have. You can share that opinion. Attacking a brand and saying that they're scamming you, that's muddy water you're getting into, because now you're accusing them of basically fraud.
Yeah, well, and it goes back to, like, I mean, we used to see it all the time when Rupes first came out.
Yeah.
Why are you paying for that? You can get a polisher in China.
Yeah.
Well, you're paying for service. You're paying for the knowledge of the people that put that tool together. You're paying for
the engineering and development.
There's a reason that is that, and it's made in Italy.
Yeah.
Like made in Italy, and then or assembled here from those Italian parts.
Yeah.
Like when I got to come over and visit, build my own machine.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the difference, and a lot of people seem to tend to forget that when they start comparing just apples to apples instead of apples to oranges.
Yep. Exactly.
They don't see that, and they don't think about that, and everybody's always out to go. And I think it's a detailer thing. We're always out to save money.
Yeah. Well.
And well, now I don't have to pay for that.
Well, I'm not gonna get that ski chalet by paying full price, my man.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's how you got to get it. But no, but it is one of those things. So always take it with a grain of salt. And I feel like sometimes there are a new level of detailers that come out because there's so much information out.
Yeah.
That they think, oh, now I have this information. But there's a lot of years where me and Dylan had to learn that stuff from people who were smarter than us.
Yep.
And teach us that and be able to experience.
Yep.
Those kinds of things. So.
Cool. Well, thus concludes yet another successful.
It went by so fast.
Other week live stream.
Yeah.
It keeps going by faster and faster. I don't know what your plans are for this weekend. I will see you at Cars and Coffee bright and early tomorrow, and for some fun with the Adams gang, and then
anybody that's going to be in town that wants to attend the Lafayette Cars and Coffee for Adams, I'll be there. So come say hi.
Yeah, come get some free stuff.
So Dylan.
And on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching another one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, get ready. If you want to drop comments in this video, we're going to look at the comments from this one when we decide to do the next one and figure it out. And we might even, you know what, I'm concerned we might do a pre-Father's Day one, because we would miss Father's Day, and I have an even uglier shirt planned for Father's Day. So I might bust out the white New Balances for the next live stream. We'll just a one-off. Maybe we'll do a 30-minute dad live stream.
I can't believe you have a set.
Hot
Are
dad
they for
talk.
Mowing shoes? Are those your mowing shoes?
Yeah, talk about mowing, barbecuing, and all the things. Thanks, you guys, for watching, and have a fantastic weekend. Remember, Autowash, because you love your car.
We'll see ya.